flying sludgy tubby.
The fan song. I don't gotta explain the premise of this one. Videos like this have like a gazillion views. You get the gist. They were a big staple of my childhood. For a time, it was the only music I'd allow myself to listen to. Like, if I had to go on a drive and the radio was playing, I'd literally plug my ears and put my Kindle Fire HD speaker up to my ears so I could listen to like the goddamn Teddy Bear Nightmare rap by Rocket Music instead.
5 Nights at Freddy, he bites.
Gee, I wonder what these guys are up to now. Oh no! We all know the staples. The Living Tombstone, a DA Gaines, Smike when he used to just re-upload Tryhard Ninja songs.
Hey there.
It's an internet tradition, but one you honestly don't really see get the same attention they once did anymore. That's not to say they've stopped completely or have lost steam in a super significant way. They've just evolved? Oh, we're in the 9th circle, aren't we? This genre of music is kind of the pinnacle of internet art forms to me. Anthems that had the opportunity to spread far and wide that sometimes they'd be acknowledged by the original creators themselves. And sometimes people will just brawl in the fucking movie theater to your song. Every fandom has had their fair share of fan songs, had their fair share of iconic ones, but obviously nobody beats out FNAF when it comes to the sheer quantity and brevity of this media, like even today. Genuinely name me like one iconic Poppy Playtime fan song, and no, this one does not count. I don't care if the Ohio song guy made this, he was paid to, that does not count. Get out of here, CG5! No. It's safe to say that FNAF is still absolutely on top of this genre as well. Even when its throne gets occasionally threatened, there's still a song or two that'll show up here or there that still get a moderate amount of success. Still nothing at the level of the old stuff, but still something that the community can bond over in some way. Anyways, have you seen this? Do I even need to introduce this? Does it really matter? Is literally anyone watching this not aware of who the fuck Jackie is now? It's literally inescapable. I could sit here and give you an explanation on what the Mimic is or what this song is meant to represent, but do I have to? Do I really have to? I think the thing that is the most interesting about this song is the fact that it turned what I would have considered very obscure characters from the FNAF canon to genuine household names practically overnight. Like, I can assure you that if your room didn't literally look like this, you would have no idea who the hell an Edwin Murray was, but now I can make a post of literally anything that has a black silhouette, and it'll get like 100,000 likes. What timeline are we in? Jackie's Box, the song that undeniably kickstarted this entire trend while also serving as better marketing for a FNAF project that barely half the fan base probably even knew existed. The fact that this song has more views than both of the Secret of the Mimic trailers combined is such a testament to how awfully this game has been advertised, dude. The staggering virality, I believe, reached its absolute peak when on February 12th of 2025, the one and only Lewis Dawkins streamed his reaction to the PlayStation State of Play livestream that had been going on at the time. One where Scott Cawthon himself would show up. Now, normally this is a notable occasion, but it's not like it's uniquely out of the blue. If Scott shows up in any public setting, it's probably going to be alongside this fucking British monolith, so there's no surprise there. The thing that raises eyebrows, however, is what Dawko decides to show Scott in the meantime, waiting up for the stream to start. This is the stance of a fundamentally broken man. So, let me put this into perspective for you all. This channel, at the start of November last year, had less than 100 subscribers. To, in the span of 4 months, growing over 60,000, having a song amass more views than any official material of the damn thing it's even based on, and acknowledged by the creator of the franchise itself. Steelwell, what the fuck are we doing? I genuinely think whoever is behind this channel deserves a steep payout for making people aware that this game even exists. There's not really much else I think I need to say about this song in particular. From this point on, I'm far more interested in the back catalog of music this account has amassed before this, because remember, mind you, this channel didn't even have 100 subscribers before Jackie Box started blowing up. Xtratuna has been doing this shit for the love of the game for almost an entire year and is now only just started to gain the fruits of their labor. If that's not motivational or inspiring, I don't know what else would be. Anyways, This video is sponsored by War Thunder. Woo! War Thunder is a free-to-play, large-scale multiplayer action game with the ability to play in ground vehicles, aircraft, and naval vessels. In this game, you can engage in epic, dynamic battles using your military vehicle of choice, capturing the scale and intensity of these battles with an insane range of iconic tanks, helicopters, aircrafts, ships, and even rare prototypes from the mid-20th century to present day. If you're an enthusiast of military vehicles, you will be blown away at the level of detail in War Thunder, both in appearance and gameplay. Each and every vehicle having unique characteristics, allowing them to behave completely differently from each other in combat. Being able to upgrade and modify your favorites as you progress, and even customize their appearance with numerous skins and visual elements. And with the recent Hornet Sting update, many of the maps have received major graphical enhancements, making the immersion more prevalent than ever. That's not all, however, as the Hornet Sting update also introduced new advanced military vehicles such as the top-tier fighters Su-30 and Fa-18, and many more. Now's never been a better time to hop into the action of War Thunder. Download for free on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox by using the link in the description. All new players and those who haven't played War Thunder for half a year or more will receive some special bonuses: 100,000 Silver Lions, a special decorator, Eagle of Valor, and more. You can also immerse yourself in exciting battles in War Thunder Mobile, an epic mobile multiplayer action game. Download and play it for free on iOS or Android using the link in the description. Thank you again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Now, let's go back to whatever's going on here. What if I told you Jackie's Box was not only not the first song this channel put out, but it wasn't even their first goddamn Secret of the Mimic song either? I think the reason why this song didn't catch on nearly as much as its predecessor is because there aren't really as many moments in this one that you can clip for good Instagram or TikTok bait. But I think that's why I like it more, actually. Jackie's Box is still funny and all, but the underrated gem that is Hotel of Madness, I think, is a lot more funny just for how more subtle the irony is. Who will know of the Springtrap's crimes? Who will know of the children's cries? Who will know of the Springtrap's crimes? This is some Shakespearean shit, dude. Much of their earlier work is definitely more akin to this. The first song they ever did, Find You, a Michael Afton song, is not very clippable for casuals, but if you were very deep into nerdcore back in the day, you'd probably find this shit hilarious.
I say sorry to my little brother Evan, and then maybe then they'll finally go to heaven.
A song they made not long after, Pain the Same, the prototype song, also has this apply, but the funniest lyric is definitely right when the song starts.
I want to kill everyone.
It's like fucking DA Games lyrics where it'll just end a song by screaming die. Like, calm down, dude. You're putting your whole DA gussy into this for a game that plays like this. They'd follow this up with a Hello Neighbor song, which after listening to, I think is the weakest out of the discography, and Hello Neighbor becomes a very important character later on, so I'll save this game spotlight for that. This formula would be the same for their next few songs, where the border between sincerity and irony can definitely be much more blurred depending on how much context you have. One thing that is very notable, however, is the voice filter just keeps degrading as time goes on to the point of sounding practically incomprehensible by the time we get to goddamn Insect Collection, a Kinger song.
Those of you who don't get the joke, the joystick is a metaphor for penis.
So you've probably been able to recognize a pattern with these song topics by now. Almost everything has been around a pretty central topic, each of these being on established internet communities, primarily mascot horror stuff. That's what most nerdcore is, though, let's be honest. But that all gets tossed out the fucking window when we get to the 7th song in the discography. Bad Luck Anthem, the fucking Bad Luck Brian song.
But when you got bad luck like Brian, there ain't no hope in trying.
This shit sound like Tally Hall. There's gonna be a trend with a lot of these channels going forward where 90% of their discography is gonna be completely focused on like mascot horror games and whatnot, to just be thrown the most out of left field curveball you will ever experience. Even just on this channel too, trust me, the Bad Luck Brian anthem is not the end of Xtratuna's escapades. This song is immediately followed up by Ransom, which is a song about Burn Trap, but even for Xtratuna standards, you can tell that this one is very unpolished and rushed. A fact Extra admits themselves in the video in this really lengthy comment. Alright, I'll say it. This did not turn out the way it should have. I'm sorry for how this one came out. I really should have not rushed it as much as I did. If I could go back and just redo this from the beginning, I could. But hey, that's life, I guess. Still, it's no excuse, and I feel like I failed every single one of you with this track. I was so preoccupied with my personal life and musical life, and somehow couldn't find it within myself to make enough room to breathe comfortably in either. In that sense, I think I failed myself as well, you know? My music stems from one thing: respect. Respect for the genres that have defined many for years. The indie horrors, the memes, the works and arts of the little guys of this world. I'm one of those little guys. I'm just a little guy with a huge amount of respect for my fellow little guys. Even little guys who become big guys. Hell, look at Scott Cawthon, creator of FNAF Now. He's a bajillionaire, I bet, and look where he started, making horror games for people like me and you. The respect I have for creators in this field and other fields is the driving force behind the creation of this channel. I always dabbled with music as a kid, but the rising genre of YouTube music and nerdcore, I took it as a calling to express myself through the works of others. And when I fail, as I did here, it hits me hard. Not just because it affects me, but whomever's work I decided to pay homage through music. What happened here is I tried some new things while setting myself under a huge time crunch. I was so busy, and yet I forced myself to churn out an unfinished and frankly embarrassing product. Honestly, I didn't even write the lyrics to most of this song. I thought maybe an improvise/freestyle approach would maybe fit the character of Burn Trap in the games? I don't know. It sounds stupid when I type it out, trying to justify this mess. Ha. I'll be keeping this video up, because failure is a part of life. Besides, if anything, it'd be more cowardly to bury this. If you enjoy this song, I'm glad you do, but make sure to check out my other works. I put more care into those. Thank you, Tunas. You guys are the reason I do what I do. Remember, guys, there is hope in trying. I genuinely cannot tell if this song was meant to be bad just so they could stay in character or not, but if that's the case, this is literally 4D chess levels of planning. Although Jackie's Box is the only song this channel is truly known for, there is another that got a good amount of attention. A Teacher's Sorrow, a Baldi song. Now, Baldi's basic songs already have a bit of a reputation to them. Although this one is not nearly as abrasive as other Baldi songs, the best way I can describe this is genuine fucking MK Ultra torture methods. The intro starts off fairly normal, like it's actually probably the most listenable one of these songs has been so far, but after the 40-second mark, it just deteriorates.
I am Baldi, you're in my school, you learn math here, run down the halls.
It is just this for the next 3.5 minutes. This crescendo just keeps on repeating, and it feels like it's going on for an eternity. The only thing I can even compare it to is the infinite staircase from Mario 64. Get me out of here, I'm scared. But if you thought that was bad, oh man, if you thought that was bad, get ready for the 17-minute long Undertale song. When I got to this point in the script, I knew that this was going to be the toughest challenge I would face in this entire journey. This is a genuine endurance advanced test to get through. The instrumental is just this repeating bass line over and over again with random-ass Undertale characters coming in to give us a different verse every time. Only problem is Undertale has like a lot of characters, so we get 22 different verses with Frisk repeating theirs after every single one. When I first decided to listen to this, it was like around 6 a.m. after having not slept for 20 hours, so it made this experience all the more magical. And if the Undertale cast wasn't enough, we got Deltarune characters thrown in there too. Sure, why the hell not? Toriel, like the first character you even meet in the game, also doesn't have a single verse in this song once, but the ruins area itself does.
Welcome to the ruins. Welcome to the ruins. Welcome to the ruins. Welcome to the ruins.
Other key highlights are when the Frisk verse just switches to German for no reason at like the 13-minute mark.
Fucking underground, underground, underground.
The song finally ends with Noelle, again, wrong game, doing the final verse, getting almost an entire minute to do it, but the song also just kind of ends with no conclusion after this too.
Kill, 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 kill.
If the Baldi's Basics song was MK Ultra, this is just hell itself. This is followed up directly by a mouth-washing song. Do you really expect me to give insight at this point? I just put myself through 17 minutes of this. I think we can go without an in-depth analysis on A Captain's Curse. Before dropping Jackie's Box, the channel actually uploaded an almost 30-minute long album of fully original songs. This album doesn't feature any vocals either, being made up of just some industrial and breakcore beats that honestly aren't bad at all. Like, I genuinely really like a lot of the songs here, especially Reverberation. Although this upload seems very out of left field for the track record this channel has had so far, I actually have a theory. Alright, you gotta hear me out on this one. From the cover art and the name of the project, I think it's safe to assume that this is meant to be yet another subtle jab at DA Games in particular. Specifically, the Iris project Will has been doing for like 8 years alongside his nerdcore stuff. Now, I could be looking way too deep into this, and I completely acknowledge that, but considering how much this channel's foundation has seemed to be primarily a parody of DA Games, I think it's very plausible. After this album, we got the release of Jackie's Box, yada yada yada, we know. There was actually a lot of fan content made for this song due to how explosive it had gotten, such as this metal cover made by Yuki Gloom, which is so much better than it has to be.
My name is David. Dad, I want some ice cream. David, that is my name. David, I want another. David.
I don't know why I said there was a lot of fan content made. The song was like the only thing I can think of, unless we count like, oh, okay, we're moving on, delete everything. It would still take some time for Jackie's Box to be discovered by the unwashed masses, so in the meantime, we still got 2 more songs before it would hit its peak virality. First one is a Christmas-themed Cuphead song, and I don't really have anything to say about this one. It's pretty tame from what we've grown to expect. The Walton Files. The Walton Files would be what's covered next, starting with this cinematic-ass intro that's completely written text.
Twined, the organic truth being apparent, there was no harmony, only horror.
At this point, the novelty of these songs had already started to wear out on me. There's some funny moments in this song, but most of them just come from the singer saying fuck unexpectedly, which is like, that's like has-been hotel writing at this point. We can do a little better, I think. But once I thought I was starting to get tired of all the nerdcore, all the animatronics, and Cupheads, Extra threw us yet another curveball with a Moo Dang song. But not just one Moo Dang song, but fucking 4! It's not like these are just remixes either, despite what the titles say. Each and every one of these songs is completely different. Different composition, different lyrics, literally everything. They just made 4 Moo Dang related songs for the love of the game. I honestly think this is one of the funniest things they could have done right after Jackie's Box started to reach peak virality, because like the Bad Luck Brian song kind of felt forced by making it about a meme that hasn't been relevant for literally almost 2 decades. While Moo Dang is still relatively recent enough to assume someone would make something like this, but also had been so irrelevant by the time the song came out that it still looks really out of touch, which is kind of genius to me. And then to quadruple down on it for no reason at all absolutely adds to it, especially considering none of these videos have even cracked 100k yet. It's genuinely just a big fuck you. The final song in the discography as of right now is Torn Alive, a FNAF 2 song. Jason Blum, you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing right now. The song is about what you'd expect at this point, but like at the later half, it breaks into an opera verse for absolutely no reason, and then that's immediately followed up with this.
I am eating motherfucking bacon.
We end off the song with this magnificent purple guy verse with a sprite that makes him look like Showdown Bandit, and then that's the end of Xtratuna's discography. I need to make it known that I absolutely respect just how committed this channel is to the bit, making several songs consistently each month for an entire year now to absolutely zero attention until just the last 3 or so months. That takes commitment, and I'm really happy to see it paid off. This is one of those projects that you can't tell if it's meant to just be made in completely good fun or if it was made out of pure hatred and vitriol for the people it's meant to be satirizing. Especially DA Games in particular, since everything here points to them being the main people being ragged on the most. There's other miscellaneous lore to be said about this channel, like how they announced these abominations would start being sold, but this again was obviously just a bit and no such merchandise was sold. What a damn shame. The final thing I want to mention about this channel before we move on is the fact they did an hour-and-a-half long interview with this guy named Nutcase a few months ago, and it's actually beautiful. We get to learn a lot more about this persona on a personal level, such as the fact that his name is Nathan, and this is what he looks like. Everyone say hi, Nathan. After listening to this entire thing, it's genuinely commendable how far this person is pushing the bit. At one point, they get called by a job they applied to, only to be rejected by it while on speakerphone, but the other person talking just sounds like him again with a voice changer. Also, his ringtone is just one of his own songs, too.
Oh shit. Sorry, wait, my bad. That is, okay.
This interview is absolute gold. I'll leave it in the description to check out if you're further interested in the extra lore. With how much attention this channel would get for their endeavors, it clearly wouldn't be long for others to try and come along to get a piece of that Edwin pie. And that brings us to...
Going down into the deep. My heart is skipping beats.
I'm Slendy Tubby.
Only existing for like 2 weeks as of writing this, another nerdcore channel would start popping up on my Instagram and TikTok feeds constantly, this time with clips like this.
Lay down and die.
This is the Creepypasta song made by our new pals, the Porcelain Pals. I honestly don't know if I like this channel nearly as much as Xtra or the other channels we've yet to cover. And I know what you're probably thinking. I should judge this channel for itself before jumping the gun and comparing it to other projects immediately. Typically, I would agree with you. Typically, Porcelain Pal makes music that is definitely not trying to hide what it is. It's really clear that a lot of the moments in their songs are meant to be clip farming to be the new meme that people post for a few weeks. And I can't even lie, they are pretty successful in doing that. The Creepypasta song is definitely the most notable thing out of this channel's limited discography, already amassing 400,000 views and featuring iconic verses from Jeff the Killer, Horror Sans, the Pro Jared.
I'm Pro Jared and I cheated on my wife!
I know I've been kind of critical towards this song compared to what I said about Xtra's catalog, but I honestly find this a lot funnier than most of the songs there. But at the same time, that may just be because it's also trying a lot harder to be. I won't lie and say this humor doesn't appeal to me. Horror Sans returning at the end as a rant Sona with his fucking disgusting skeleton toes out is really funny, and I have the humility to admit that, goddammit. But the fact that this song also does try so hard to be the next exploitable meme song definitely gets rid of the novelty it could have had. The thing I praised the most about the majority of Xtra's catalog was that it definitely felt like it was made by someone who grew up listening to nerdcore extensively and wanted to pay homage to it in this post-ironic modern internet way. While this gives more the vibes that these guys saw that and wanted to replicate it before knowing the subtleties on why that works. Like, half of the song is literally just reading Wikipedia entries, and that's typically when I check out because it just drags for so long.
In 1963, a man named Duke and his test fell into a coma.
Where they boiled his brain in a machine to create a dog named Dookie the dog, who became a scientist and mentor of a child named Donovan Tex. This coma gave birth to the show Futurama, in which he became a red-haired boy named Philip J. Fry. Philip J. Fry hit his head on the cryogenic containment chamber, turning him into a dream world where he became a yellow.
But despite this, the Phineas and Ferb are dead is still fucking hilarious.
Phineas and Ferb are dead!
This channel kind of noticed that too after they made this video called I'm Sorry David, the Creepypasta Song 2, and hey, Horror Sans finally gets his verse.
Hey guys, it's Horror Sans.
As you can guess by the title, this video literally just exists to apologize for the Creepypasta song being as derivative as it is, which is certainly an interesting choice. Now, I don't even think that this song being derivative of Xtratuna is even that big of an issue. I think I would be a major hypocrite for criticizing that. Have you been watching this video? I'm not really trying to hide that I am just completely ripping someone else's style as an experiment.
Fucking amateur hour.
But as we'll go on to see, this channel just kind of has a pattern of behavior where it makes a song and then it goes on like this self-reflection arc where they denounce it or take it down entirely. Just like with their song, can I even fucking say this? Okay, maybe it's better they took this one down. Holy shit. In the Creepypasta apology video, they also tell us to go check out the meme song instead since they think it's better, and when you click on it, this is the first thing you see.
Hey kids, do you know what a meme is?
This shit looks like Freddy SETI. I'm scared, dog. This one absolutely has a lot more effort put into it visually and seems to be a lot less reliant on quick clippable moments compared to the last time, but it's also just not as funny or memorable either. Although I am a big fan of this part.
My friend Keanu Reeves to take you on this journey.
You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking. Cyberpunk 2077.
The rest of the Porcelain discography is definitely as hit or miss as this. They have a sister location song that again flows in a way where it tries to wear a very loose mask of sincerity again. But one thing I do really appreciate about this song, and something I wish other parody nerdcore artists would do, is using this absolutely iconic Angry Birds font for the lyrics instead of the hacked font. This shit right here, this was the true FNAF font before all this new gen bullshit.
That's new gen boy.
We follow it up with an Interloper song produced by Cart Peterschmidt. Now, I'm a really big Half-Life fan, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know dick about Interloper, so I asked the only person that would have a single clue as to what any of this means, and I didn't get a response. Richter, you're making Papa really angry right now.
And I'm still going strong, even though my comments are whack, so you can call me Springtrap, because I always come back.
Richter! I've been sucking on that big boy.
As of right now, the latest track featured on this channel is Kendrick the Mustard song. Finally, something that speaks to me! This one was my honest-to-God breaking point. Every time I go to listen to it, I involuntarily start tuning it out because how do you expect me to listen to this after everything I have already been putting myself through? One man can only take so much, and I'm drawing the line at fucking piano sounds not like us, okay? I had a lot less to say about this channel, not only because the discography was a lot smaller, but also just due to the fact that I don't really find this one nearly as interesting. That doesn't mean I don't think it's funny in a lot of regards, but I just don't really think they've been able to capture the same vibes as the Creepypasta song, while also avoiding just being the same thing as their very clear inspirations. It kind of sucks because I feel like it's a lose-lose situation. Be too jokey and it ruins the immersion, but take it too seriously and you kind of just make your average Xtratuna song. It's made me realize that despite only being a popular formula for the last month, this genre may start to get stale really fast, but I also don't want it to because I still think a lot of this shit is hilarious.
I'll get fucking paid enough for this shit.
There's a few other one-off stuff I want to discuss before the final thing I had in mind, so let's just rapid fire those real quick. This section of the video is going to be extremely short because there's not many notable one-off or smaller channels I could find, but there are a few. One of them is this song made about a Roblox game called Forsaken that I've seen blowing up recently too, and it's probably my least favorite out of any of these recovering. Not even really for any serious reason in particular, it just kind of has to do with one, I don't know what the hell a Forsaken even really is, and two, it's just a rip of the creepypasta song again. A lot of references and jokes in this just kind of fall flat for me since I'm not in the community, but this part really took me off guard because I get this one. I thought this was just another Porcelain Pal song for a little bit because of how insanely similar it is to the stuff that channel's put out, but nope, it's original. Moving on to the other song, however, and oh boy, let me tell you, the song we are about to hear is an absolute gem that predates all of this shit, and there is barely any way to even find it anymore. And that is Garten of Ban, Freak of Nature, and oh my god, I need more people to know about this desperately. This song, I believe, had the potential to be the first real ironic fan song to blow up, but 2 years later, and it's sitting unlisted and has less than 5,000 views. This song was created by the iconic nerdcore artist Zach Power. But that's a lie because Zach Power doesn't exist. It's actually just the fucking Bugbo guy. Yes, you can trace all of this. Everything we have talked about up until this point, the Edwins, the Jack the Killers, the Bad Luck Bryans, the Patient Zero has been Ben Silly this entire goddamn time. The song itself is funny, but the lore behind it is genuinely hysterical because this got the attention of DA Games himself, and it's the reason why the song has been taken down in the first place. So I don't have exact sources for this, unfortunately. Much of this is just going off the memory of what I was told 2 years ago, so very, very reliable. But you can still see remnants of DA Games finding out in the comments and description of this upload if you are able to find it, explaining how the song wasn't made to mock him, but rather is just a parody specifically of Break My Mind, which is very apparent given the ride symbol they use at the very beginning. Also, before we move on, I want to know if I'm tripping or not here.
I am in the pit of gutter, looking for my son. I haven't seen him in 12 days. What the hell have I done?
Freddy's in my inquisition. I must escape this place, because I am the only one who knows what is beneath his face.
Welcome to the Garden of Ban, we are going to tell you.
I am eating motherfucking bacon.
Am I going insane or am I onto something? I don't know, but I'm keeping an eye on you, Bugbo guy. Alright, now that we have finally gotten all of that out of the way, it's time to start wrapping this video up. But I want to leave it on a high note. I'm not done before we talk about what is likely the best out of all of these channels. The thing that blows each and every one of these out of the water in almost every conceivable way. This channel is none other than...
I'm shitting myself!
This channel predates everything, even the goddamn Garten of Ban song. This channel predates Ban even being a thing. We are at the final layer, man. Smor is something that is so special and so tragically underappreciated. This channel feels so special to me because every other artist we've looked at in this video has a vibe to it that makes it feel like all of them could have been linked together similarly. Xtratuna was a rip on people like DA Games and The Living Tombstone. Porcelain Pal was a rip on Xtratuna, and everyone else just started cannibalizing themselves after that. Smor feels like you kidnapped an alien and the only thing you told it about was Norway and fucking mascot horror games. For not even having a single song that has even reached 100k, the people who know about this channel are absolutely devoted, myself included. I've known about this channel for a really long time now, but I haven't been able to talk about it in any meaningful way outside of hiding references here and there to its existence, but now I can finally show the entire world. Everything you need to know about Smor can be found in his bio. Relevant music. You couldn't be more correct, making songs about all the hit topics right now. Poppy Playtime, FNAF, Among Us, Tusk. I I think it's just kind of a rite of passage for these channels to have a song that drastically diverges from everything else they have built their catalog around. The first song released was the aforementioned Poppy Playtime song, which definitely feels like a stress test meant to find the style this channel would develop later on. But the one thing that needs to be stated about this from the beginning is the fact that outside of just being funny, these songs actually feel like they have genuine musical merit to stand on. The vocals are amateurly mixed and the lyrics are absolutely deranged, but Smor actually feels like it's intended to be genuinely listened to as well as get a laugh out of you, which is very rare for a channel in this genre. My favorite part about the Poppy song in particular is probably the fact that the gameplay is just Markiplier's Let's Play with the face cam blurred out. Also the part where Smor calls a VHS tape a DVD.
And I see in front of me. What? A DVD. I guarantee.
Smor would go on to continue their career by following up with a song about Among Us VR, which also is strangely their most popular song. I think it might have done well with an audience that didn't know it was meant to be ironic or something. This is the song that also formally introduces us to Maurice. Remember him, he's a really important player in this big picture. I also think that this is absolutely the catchiest song in the entire discography, despite being a sleeper pick for most of the Smor heads.
Among us in VR. Among us
For what it does for the lore, being the most viewed song on the channel, and for being as much of a banger as it is, I absolutely think this one deserves more credit. Now, what is the logical progression after songs about Poppy Playtime and Among Us? Well, any answer you just came up with probably fell into more logic than making a song about a fucking torture porn movie! The Tusk song has done irreversible damage to my vocabulary ever since I first heard it. The amount of times I used to just say old man grinning involuntarily was genuinely disastrous. This is the least viewed out of the discography, but the one I personally believe is the most beloved by true Smor heads. It's slow burn, spine-tingling, atmospheric, genre-redefining with a say more with less approach, just like the movie it's about. Although, all of this pales in comparison to what is still likely Smor's magnum opus and probably the best thing Norway has ever contributed to. That being none other than Neighbor Gonna Find Me Hello Neighbor 2 song. If Xtratuna's Hello Neighbor song was meant to be a more sympathetic lens to the neighbors, Smor does the exact opposite. He has a gun and he is going to kill you, goddammit. This song was my introduction to Smor and I haven't turned back since. I still believe this one is absolutely the funniest and most quotable out of the entire discography. I honestly don't want to describe it too much because if there's one channel I want you to check out after this, it's absolutely Smor. I think he deserves it the most. We only have two other songs after this too, a FNAF song that is entirely focused around Freddy, and the only time anything else in the broader lore is mentioned is a throwaway verse about the sister location scooper, okay? And the final video currently on the channel is basically the Smor anthem, combining every song together as well as potentially doubling as a diss track towards Maurice. And other than that, Smor has been MIA for an entire year now, leaving us patiently waiting for his return. But he hasn't been entirely inactive. Smor has done 4 live streams in the past year. The first one was in the middle of writing a Digital Circus song that is still yet to be released, as well as getting up to other antics.
Oh, I'm gonna piss myself! Oh, I'm gonna piss myself!
The second stream was him just sleeping and farting really loud, classic Smor trademark. The third one was like this Discord fan meetup holiday extravaganza, and it went about exactly how you'd expect. And the fourth one, I don't even know how to explain this.
I am this close to shitting myself. I am this close to shitting myself. Oh, it's getting bad. Oh, it's getting real bad. Oh, God. God fucking damn it. Oh, no, no.
Smor also did an interview with the same people who interviewed Xtratuna, but in Smor fashion, it is genuinely incomprehensible compared to the Xtratuna one.
That's what you did.
Smor.
Yeah,
As we say in Norway,
For some reason, this comes off more as an interview with the King of Norway rather than the Smor persona. Also, the interviewee doesn't sound like Smor at all either. I don't know what chicanery is going on here, but something isn't right. And that's the entire Smor discography. Now move along, I have a gun and I'm gonna kill you. This trend, I believe, still has the potential to be funny in some regards, but I feel like at the time of writing this, we have kind of just hit a roadblock. Right now, it feels like everyone is just trying to be the next Jackie's Box, and it's becoming less and less funny with every attempt. I want more stuff in this core to do more of its own thing like Smor does, because even if it won't get you 5 million views, you still have the chance to make something really funny. Although you can certainly say I looked way too deep into certain attributes to these videos that are so clearly meant to not be taken seriously, it was still definitely fun to look at. There's still a lot of other channels I didn't include here that I absolutely could have, but I just didn't have the time, nor was I sure that they met the same qualifications. But I am satisfied with the catalog I shared today. Hopefully, whatever comes along to continue the lineage is able to fall out of the trap of just doing the same template again and again, and... Okay, I take it back, pack it all up, throw it back to the 9th circle.